Well, can Liz Truss cling on? Amid all of the speculation, associate political editor of the Daily Telegraph, Christopher Hope, chopper to his friends, one of the best connected political journalists in the country, put Truss's future in the bluntest of terms yesterday in a tweet that went viral. And it was 3 devastating words. It is over. And I'm delighted to say that Christopher Hope joins me now. Hi, Chopper.
Hi, how are you doing, Mark? Good to see you.
Great to have you on the programme. Do you stand by that tweet? It was a very brave tweet.
Well, it is, I think, Trussonomics. The point of Liz Truss is tax cuts. We hear about that a lot on GBNews, and that's what people wanted. That's what the base wanted, the members wanted. She came to power with that. That's how she beat Rishi Sunak. And then I did that tweet just as Jeremy Hunt finished his 5-minute statement that was a physical, political disemboweling of the Prime Minister live on TV, live for number 11 Downing Street, when he basically went back on everything that hadn't been enacted into law in the budget. We know all that now, don't we? Stamp duty remains, that's it. The national insurance increase cut, that also has been reversed. Otherwise, everything else goes. And it's worse than that because Hunt also refused to go ahead with the cut in the basic rate of income tax, even in April 2024, which was Rishi Sunak's idea. So everything, which even before, so what's even worse than to say it's all gone is that Labour supported that. So if you want to see your taxes cut, vote Labour. Now that's a disaster for any Tory government.
Too right. And she faltered when she needed to impress most at Friday's disastrous press conference.
Yeah, that was 9 minutes long, a bit longer than the defenestration in that mini budget that Jeremy Hunt announced. Took 4 questions, one from the Telegraph, big tick there. Otherwise, not really good enough. I mean, that was the moment to do, if you know your West Wing, and Arnie Vinnick, when he famously answered questions for 3 hours until everyone just went away. They were so bored. I remember Tony Blair doing something similar after the Iraq War inquiry reported. It was a time for answers, for questions, for reassurance. She did none of that. And that's why I think and that really led, I think, to Monday. Monday yesterday was almost a disaster for the pounds, I understand it. There were phone calls into people in the city. They said we need to reassure the markets early on. Hence a 6 a.m. call to the BBC to talk about this idea of a new mini budget yesterday. That couldn't wait till the afternoon because the city wouldn't allow it. So it had to come out at 11:30. We're being run by the city, Mark, not by politicians. And that's because of the mistakes made in this mini budget by Kwasi Kwarteng back on the 23rd of September.
I think that's a fair point. Chopper, she's being kept in number 10 for one simple reason. No unity candidate. Can one emerge?
Well, you might hope so. There's talk of a triumvirate of people taking over. I received a text message over the weekend. It said simply this: Rishi PM, Hunt CHX, Chancellor,
right,
and Penny Mordaunt, Foreign Secretary. That's all I got. And it said it's a done deal. That implies a coup. When Suella Braverman told me there was a coup coming against Liz Truss 2 weeks ago on my podcast, 2 weeks ago today at the party conference, everyone thought she was joking. Well, they're not thinking that now. It doesn't seem like there's an attempt to move Liz Truss on. But I would say that as we speak tonight, a fight back is emerging. A guy called David Canzini, a real hard nut, a very good advisor to Boris Johnson, who came in too late to save Boris Johnson, is back in number 10 as of tonight. He got the call today. I think that might change things. There's a fight back, but we're anywhere near the end of this yet.
Well, that's good to know because this soap opera is giving us plenty of material. Can I ask you about that pensions triple lock? Do you think that's another one that will be cast aside in the name of saving the economy? And what could the political impact of that be, given so many Tory voters have pensions upon which they rely?
It's obviously a disaster because that's another plank of the manifesto being junked. And for many, there's no actual need to do this severe cuts. Certainly with older people, the reason why that was seen to be a safe space is because a lot of older people can't work and so can't top up their pensions, particularly if they're fixed rate and they're set in stone. So that's quite difficult. And also, as you allude to, Mark, a lot of Tory supporters are pensioners, and that's why it's been so important for really going back to David Cameron's time to have this triple lock in place. If that goes, and Jeremy Hunt did say that really everything's up for grabs, it seems, in the cuts he's got to push forward with, then it's a real disaster. And this goes back really to the mistakes made by Kwasi Kwarteng, because we're so nervous about offending the markets that Jeremy Hunt's going even further than he has to go, and that's really bad.
Overcorrecting, worst possible strategy. Look, I'll let you go, Chopper. Let's just do some rough predictions. I do trust your judgment, and therefore I will be popping down to Paddy Power tomorrow. But are we looking at most likely Prime Minister Rishi Sunak by Christmas, and he fights the next election in 2023?
No.
OK.
Because I think the Liz Truss stays on beyond Christmas, probably until next May, when there's some difficult local elections. And that is when I think the party will think, right, who can win the election next year, 18 months' time? And guess what? By then, it might be that Boris Johnson is out the woods in Parliament. And guess what? He might just say sorry to his MPs, members, the country, GB News viewers. And that could be the signal for the return of Boris next summer.